Bango niya niluluto ko ah. Kailangan mo pa. Paborito ko yan.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Okay, nako, magandang happy Thursday ho mga kaibigan. Happy Thursday na naman. I'm sure excited kayo dahil kasama na naman natin yung ating pinakamamahal na abogada. Pero doon ho sa mga nanonood at mga first time viewers, ako po si Sonny LARAGAN dito po sa palatunto ng Immigration Corner. Magandang gabi ho sa ating mga kababayan sa apat na sulok ho ng United Kingdom at Europa at buong mundo ho. Kasi meron tayong viewers from North America, no? Canada at America ho. Middle East, meron din ho tayong mga nanonood. So, ayan, excited ho ako. Siyempre kasi pagka namimiss ko to after 1 week, kukumustahin na naman natin, kumusta na naman siya, no? Ano kaya ang kanyang suot ngayon? Di ba? Yan na pala isipan natin At meron tayong contest. Although wala tayong talagang premyo, katuwaan lang. We acknowledge the first person or first viewer who greets us dito sa ating programa. Oy, by the way, because of Facebook, nagkaroon ng outage. Tama-tama when we had our program Monday afternoon pala, alas 3 dito, alas 4 sa mainland Europe, biglang nawala ang Facebook namin. Takatayin lahat kami, nagtataka kami, bakit wala ang Facebook? Yung pala, there was an outage for about 6 hours, no? For Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, kasi all of these are owned by this one and the same company, no? Yung Facebook group ni Mark Zuckerberg. So, we'd like to tell you, sabay ho, we're simultaneous ho tayo on both Facebook and YouTube. And if you want a fantastic full high-definition video, makikita nyo kung ano yung kaganda ang suot ni attorney at saka ako, no? Ayan. Malinaw ho. It's full high definition. Ang Facebook, for your information lang, ang highest quality niya, high definition pa rin is 720p. Pero sa YouTube ho, pwede ho ng 1080, pwede 1440p. Meaning to say, pag nanood ho kayo ng YouTube, mas malinaw go. At saka bumati din kayo. Let's have a little contest. Sino unang babati? Di ba lagi unang bumabati sa Facebook? Sino ang unang babati sa YouTube channel ng Filipino TV Europe? Ayan. Pero ito na. Tatawagin ko na yung ating, ano kaya suot niya ngayon? Siguro, hindi ko alam kung siya ba, when she wakes up in the morning, she would think, ano kaya susuot ko mamaya para to intrigue our viewers, no? Alam natin, mga kaibigan, ang ating pinakamamahal na abogada who makes our Thursdays happy, walang iba kundi si Attorney LIRA SIMON-CABATBAT. Attorney, good evening.
Hi, Sonny. I'm so excited to be here. Talaga, it's Happy Thursday, no? Happy Thursday nga. And really, it is a happier Thursday dahil may balita ako mamaya, no?
Oy.
Yung pag-uusapan nga natin. So it's good. So yeah, and look, tingnan mo. I'm in all dark. So we're kind of night and day, you know?
Yes.
So yeah, so happy and glum. Para akong madre.
Hindi naman, glum. Glum, negative attorney, no? Happy pa rin tayo. We look happy. It's like, actually, black is beautiful. Di ba? Minsan parang it highlights, kamukha mo, you have your long, dark, flowing hair, and then wearing this, ang ganda ng combination. And in fact, when I go to parties and I'm wearing something black, di ba? Parang it looks elegant And then especially with my cute long hair, di ba?
Yeah.
Well,
that's
diba?
fine. Yeah. Yeah, malamig nga lang ngayon So
yes.
Gone are the sleeveless nga. So ngayon I'm fully covered up. I even had boots. kanina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really cold today, no? Di ba? And kapon, ewan ko umulan ba ngayon. But certainly, malamig nga ngayon. I think unfortunately or fortunately, I mean, I like winter, but winter has arrived. So, yeah, so it's, I'm all covered up.
Pero maganda ang winter,
yeah, so
no? Because
turtleneck.
winter times, you look very glamorous. Kasi when summertime comes, diba, yung mga light attire, diba? Yung mga maluluwag, mga t-shirt, shorts, ganyan lang, diba? Pag lalabas ka. Pero pag winter time, you're really covered. May boots ka, diba? May coat ka. And I have a friend who is a nurse na assign sa California. Sabi niya, nako, Sir Sonny, nami-miss ko na yung mga winter clothes ko. Dahil iba, diba? Bongga. Minsan pag, when you attend parties, diba? Na mga iba ang damit natin. Pag, iba ang attire natin for winter, iba yung summer, diba? Iba rin yung springtime collection natin. Ganyan, no?
Yeah.
So, we missed you, attorney. Yeah, it's been another... so I know you're busy with work, but how was your week naman? Kumusta? Ano ang mga balita sa'yo?
Well, I tell you what, mainly tama ka, no? It's trabaho nga lang. It's just work is really, really busy. But I said last week I was going to watch James Bond, so I went to the Olympic Cinema nga in Barnes.
Oo nga.
And watched James Bond. Have you watched?
Hindi pa.
nakita mo
We
na?
didn't get the chance this weekend.
I won't tell you.
Sige.
Okay.
Oo,
I won't
okay
tell
lang.
you. No, I don't want to spoil it, but it was surprising, shall we say?
Okay.
So yeah, yung mga kababayan natin, if you haven't watched it yet, I won't tell you nga, but watch it. It was
Maganda?
surprising.
Nice.
Maganda. Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Well,
I enjoyed
we'll
it.
probably check that out. Yung sinasabi mo, nasa Barnes ba na? Sheen? Ano mo yung, saan ba yan? Saan ba yung cinema?
Barnes. So it's
sa Barnes.
Olympic Cinema in Barnes. And actually, I was sitting there and I thought, first time ko in the cinema for like a year and a half.
Oh.
No?
Really?
Because of course because most of last year, diba, COVID nga, restrictions, sarado nga sila. And
Yes.
then, of course, last year's gone, and now we're already October nga, no? And so, it was, so a year and a half. That was the first time ko to go
okay.
back. It was so nice, no?
Really?
It was
Really?
just so
Okay.
nice.
Popcorn?
It's,
Nag-popcorn
I didn't
ka ba?
even,
Nag-popcorn ka?
Absolutely. Yeah, popcorn. I didn't even mind that. Okay, mas matangkad ka sa akin.
Oo.
So, you don't probably have this problem. Pero if you are short as me, ang problema nga, kung meron yung nasa harap mo, matangkad, no? It's difficult. It's a little bit annoying. Hindi nila kasalanan, of course, na matangkad
Are you
nga
talking
sila.
of sa upuan? When you're sitting inside?
Sa upuan.
Oh,
Yeah, when
okay.
you're sitting inside.
Oh.
So although the seats are very good nga, but you can't help it. Makikita mo nga yung taas ng ulo nila, no? I did not even mind. I was that happy to be back in the cinema. I didn't even mind. Matangkad nga yung nasa harap ko. I was just grateful to be kind of back to some kind of normality.
I haven't been to a cinema
So,
yet.
it was quite-
Ano ba yan? Are there spaces? Or pwede fully packed na? Pwede na magdikit-dikit ang tao?
Well, okay, I think this cinema, you must check it out. Hindi ka naman
Sige.
gan malayo
Hindi
doon,
ko-
ano? It's actually, it's nicely spaced. It's always been nicely spaced, no? So it doesn't feel like you're packed in. But nevertheless, of course, no, yung mga katabi mo, some had masks. You didn't have to. Others didn't have masks. I mean, I must say, I did not have a mask on. But yeah, so it's fine. You don't feel packed in. I think some cinemas, kung malilit nga lang upuan nila, could be that they leave a seat in between. But for James Bond, they probably couldn't afford it because it's so popular nga. That they probably want to pack
So
it in.
puno. Kaya ako tinanong sa'yo is because kung merong malaking tao na sa harapan mo, you could probably move to the, kung free yung space o kaya sa any left or right, no? May tao, kadikit mo?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, puno. All the seats nga booked.
Kaya pala. Kaya that was what I was asking you. Baka ako spaced it. Kasi alam ko, when they tried it initially for a while, there was an attempt to, di ba, open the cinemas before, a few months back. Parang layo-layo yata sila. So, I have this, attorney, yung Cinema World, Cineworld pala, I should say, Cineworld, na I pay about, I don't know kung 15, 18 pounds a month, and you can watch all you can. Sa Cineworld, maganda ang kasi parang stadium, parang pababa eh. So, hindi, hindi, maski maliit ka, kita mo pa rin yung, yung sine, no? But I'll check that out. It's nice na yung mga ganyang mga parang mga independent mga cinema houses, di ba? Mas
Yeah,
cute
yeah.
Mm. So
Yeah, and that's where they recorded. It's a very old. It was a music studio, no, and there they recorded Rolling Stones, no,
Oh,
si Mick Jagger,
wow.
nandun sila dati.
Yes. Oo.
It's still a music
Iconic.
studio. Absolutely. They had Bob Dylan. So they had all sorts of. It's a very good cinema, and it's independent. So I like to also to support it. And they have really good popcorn. That's you can't go wrong with their popcorn.
Oo. Pero grabe ang popcorn sa cinema. So, ang mahal, no? When you buy
Yeah.
I don't know, they call it the combo yata sa Cineworld. Isang, depende, large na and drink, large drink, mga 6 pounds, 85 pounds, 7 pounds na eh. No, mahal ang
Yeah.
Pero mura lang ang popcorn kung tutusin. Lang, mga kernels lang yan, mga corn kernels. Have you ever tried cooking, yung gumawa ka na ng popcorn?
Oh yes, all the time. No, you can also get it microwavable. No, but yeah,
ayoko
all
nun.
the time. Yeah.
Delikado yata.
Ayaw mo yung
Cancerous
microwave?
yata yun, attorney. Well, dati ginagawa ko yun, yung, di ba, yung lalaki, di ba, yung naka-fold yan. Tapos mamaya-maya, biglang lalaki
Oo.
na siya, di ba? Oo, I don't know, natatakot na ako. But now, I just cook my own eh. Nagluluto ako, butter, di ba, butter, slice, di ba, butter, and then kernels, and then tatakpan mo lang, ginaganon-ganon mo lang sa ano ba tawag dito? Fire, something, yun sa cooking.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, it's better for you.
Masarap popcorn, matakaw.
No,
Ay,
maganda.
by the way, may tip ko lang sa'yo and to all the viewers. Kaya Tesco, one pound, ang sarap eh. Maganda ang timplada nila. Adik na adik ako sa Tesco. I would buy the whole, yung buo, 10 pieces yun. Buhat-buhat ko yung buong karton, no? Ganun, no? Ganun. There was a time na bumibili kami marami. Meron pang isa pa. Nakalimutan ko na yung kinain ko last night. And corn is healthy. Maganda ang corn, ho. Maganda ang corn, no? So, yeah. Well, nakakatuwa naman.
yeah.
So, okay. At titingnan natin, baka may mga attorney, this is the best part because we will have the beautiful and handsome again, no? Di ba? Di ba? Oh.
No,
Oy,
tama ka. I'm so starved of compliments nga. So I always I do look forward to Thursdays anyway.
Thank
but
you,
this is a bonus.
Thank you for this. Ayan, may prosecco ko. So I'm gonna binigay ko ni attorney to, mga kaibigan, birthday gift niya sa akin. So thank you attorney. Brute, meron na akong pang weekend. Pagka may hangover ako ng Monday, ito po, ang may kasalanan si attorney. Thank you, attorney. Ayan. Thank you, attorney. Okay, well, maraming salamat. Okay, ito na yung mga pagbati natin. Let's see how our friends are, ano ba yan? May message ba si Direct? Okay. Ayan. Okay, ngayon, pwede ho kayo mag-message. We are inviting you because bumagsak ko ang Facebook. It might happen. Let's say, for example, if it happens tonight, halimbawa, we have an alternative. You can watch us live on YouTube. And it's ultra high definition. Yan ang sinasabi ko. Okay, that's it. Hula mo. Okay, walang dayaan. Alam ko yun, it's just for fun.
Okay.
Di ba? Hula mo. Kung sino ang first greeter natin for tonight, attorney. Sige.
Okay, so I'm going with the gentleman today, no? So
Okay, Sige.
Thursday, Gentleman Thursday nga, no? So I think from Facebook natin, it would be Mr. si Oliver, I think.
Oliver Fernandez.
Oo.
Yan ang mga last
Fernandez.
week, parang dark horse si Edgar Duway biglang pumasok, di ba? out of the blue.
Yep.
He would normally not
Yun
be.
na nga.
So ngayon, meron ka ng dalawang contenders late next time because if Edgar is in the running for being the first, they at least you can tingnan natin if he will be eventually coming in, no? Kasi andyan yung mga regulars natin na mga apat yan na naglalaban for first place. O sige, so we'll have two categories. This is the Facebook category. Tingnan natin direct kung meron tayong babati sa Facebook, sa YouTube, no? Dahil sabi nga natin, nasa YouTube din tayo at napakalinaw ho ng ating ano ba tawag dito? Ng yung clarity, yung clear, maganda ho ang video natin. O sige, attorney, sige, direct, tingnan natin kung tama si attorney. Ayan. Oh! Tama ka, attorney, ha? Correct.
Oh, we
Correct.
love you, Mr. Fernandez. You didn't let me down. So, lovely
tama.
Thursday po. Sabi pa niya, no? Attorney Lira, Kuya Sonny, and at Direct Pau. The fog is just now burning off here. Oh,
Ayan.
of course, at the PNW. Yeah, for once,
Pacific
tama ako, no?
Northwest. Oh, Pacific Northwest. Northwest.
Yeah.
Saan ka nga pala, attorney? Sa ano ka rin? Pacific side ka rin ba? O sa eastern side ka ng Canada dati? Pacific ka, di ba?
I was
nasa gitna ka?
Toronto.
Nasa
Toronto.
east.
So
East side. New York.
Is that east? Yeah.
Yeah, east. New York side yan. New York side, Washington,
Yes,
D.C.,
true.
Florida.
Of course.
That side. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You were good, correct, sa first hula mo. Let's try. Who do you think is the runner-up for tonight? Attorney, sino hula mo?
Ooh, okay. I think I'm going to go with Miss Paner dito.
Miss Panera.
And by the way, yeah, for the Facebook, for the Filipino TV Europe, I'm nominating Mr. Duway.
Sa YouTube yan. Mamaya, tingnan natin kung hindi
Opo,
natin alam
sa
kung meron na
YouTube.
tayo sa YouTube. Oy, magunahan kayo. Katuwan lang naman to. This is just a game. Go to YouTube, watch it. You will see yung aming, you can see yung difference talaga, attorney. Ang layo ng napakaganda sa YouTube. O sige. Teka muna. Second muna, yung second natin for Facebook. Sige.
Miss Paner.
Go. Miss Paner. Tingnan natin.
Okay.
Ayan. Sige. Nagugulat ako. Oy, hinuhulaan mo siya.
Sorry,
Sometimes she would say Miss Batong Bakal, di ba? Di ba?
Tama.
So Susan,
Yeah.
Batong Bakal. Good evening. Taga Earl's Court yan. Si Marian is third placer. Sige, Marian. Hello, Marian. Ayan, hello po. Ayan, sige. Ayan, bumabati si Marian.
Oh, ibang picture niya. Lovely. Aren't you
ang ganda
gorgeous,
niya,
Miss
maganda.
Paner?
Oo.
Yeah,
Tapos,
talaga.
Okay, tapos
Sino
ano to?
pangapat?
And okay. Ano ba to? Okay, may looking good si Miss Paner, may reason. She might be blooming. Oo.
Oh, talaga?
Somebody gave a
okay.
gift. Oo, kasi binigyan mo ako ng gift. Biglang may nagbigay din ng gift sa kanya. Oo. Wow, kita mo naman.
Wow, okay.
Kita mo naman a lot of special things are happening, because of our program. People get to become friends, no? Ayan. Okay. All right. Direct, ilabas mo yung so hello, no? Si Marian Galicia Paner ang pangatlo. Tama ba? Lumabas? O eto naman si Sige, pang-apat lang natin, labas natin. In the running na siya. Attorney, in the running. Oh. Di ba?
Facebook. Yeah, yun na nga po. So, galing po
Ayan.
ito kay Mr. Duway. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Lalo na po sa always elegant, Attorney Elsie, and always romantic, legendary, Sonny LARAGAN.
Wow.
Dagdag Kalaman Day. That's actually a nice way of putting it. Happy Thursday.
Yes,
Salamat po,
happy
Mr.
Thursday.
Duway.
Ngayon, so far, yan, elegant ka, no? So, very good. Ako, romantic. Oh, okay naman. That's good. Oh, so, yung yung YouTube natin, may YouTube na ba tayo dyan? Ayan, YouTube na. Oh, attorney. Ha? Ito na, magkakatuan tayo. Sino ang palagay mo unang-unang babati sa YouTube? Ayan. Ha, kita mo, attorney.
I'm sticking.
Bongga
Yeah,
tayo.
yun na nga, yun na nga.
We have Facebook, we have YouTube. Ha? We can be watched everywhere, anywhere and everywhere.
Yun na
Okay.
nga.
Sino?
I'm sticking with Mr. Duway. I think si Mr. Duway nga. So, I think.
It's none of those that you, manghula ka pa. It's, ang
None
letters
of
niya,
those.
ML. Ayan, ML, ha? ML.
Oh,
I think ito, bumabati sa atin to when we finish the show yata, nag-greet to And I guess this is the very first, parang head ng, ng isang, alam ko, Spain to. Spain.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oo.
No, wait,
Wala ka. During the height of the pandemic, parang she became like promoted yata as a nurse. I mean, she was recruiting some mga Filipino nurses, but she's parang the highest ranking Filipina doon sa kanilang hospital.
Wow.
ML.
Oh.
Ayan, ML.
Okay, no,
Hindi mo alam, siyempre. Wala, no idea.
Hindi ko alam.
Okay.
So, sino
Ayun na.
pa? Si Maris? Maris ba?
Kala ko Maria Lopez.
Maris Mendez?
Hindi. Maria Lopez ang nakita ko. Balik mo nga, direct.
Yan.
Maria
Tingnan
Lopez.
mo. Yan.
Oo.
Yeah.
Ayan.
Si Maria, yeah.
Maria Lopez.
Oh, okay.
Oo.
Yeah.
So, bakit they can see each other
that's
kung sino talaga nauna no? Siya ba nauna, direct?
Yeah.
Siya ba talaga? Kasi ba't na ilabas natin isa? Tama ba? Siya ba talaga? Dali lang.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yan,
I
tama.
think
Si
siya.
Maria Lopez
Then,
nga. Tama, si Maria
yeah.
Lopez.
Hi, Miss
Yan.
Lopez. Yeah.
Miss
Oh,
Lop-
thank you po, no? Good evening, sabi niya, no?
Na-interview ko yan. When I did the show on the parang frontliners yata, I interviewed all the nurses in different parts of Europe. I had an interview. And she was one of those that I interviewed. Ang pangalan niya, Maria Lamparero, middle name niya, Lopez. So, thank you, Maria, mabuhay,
Yeah.
At nakisali ka sa amin dito sa, ano pangalan ito, sa ating show. Yung ating Immigration Corner. Ayun. Thank you, You know, people are watching us. Remember that Maria Ferry ba yan? Ferry, remember?
Yes.
Oo,
Yeah.
From where is she? From California ba yun? O hindi ko matanda kung nasaan na yun.
Yeah. I think California din ba siya? Yes, no, I think she's California nga,
California
no?
din,
So
oo.
hopefully she joins us also, no? So Maria, are you watching us from Spain ba? Nandiyan ka ba sa Spain?
Oo nga, baka nga sabi nga, Maria, Spain ka ba nanonood? Baka naman mali ako, baka iba naman Maria Lopez yung sinasabi ko, di ba? So, ikaw ba yan na na-interview ka? Okay, sino to? May message, sino tong susunod na message? YouTube ulit? Aba!
Yes, si Ed. Yeah, yun na nga.
Nagpapasiklab na si Ed, si Edgar Duway, no? Na he's watching both, both, no? Sige, pakibasa, attorney.
So galing ko to kay Ed, yeah. I love the picture. Tingnan mo, no? Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Yeah. Lalo na sa always elegant Attorney LC and always romantic legendary Sonny LARAGAN. Dagdag Kaalaman Day. Salamat po, no? Happy Thursday.
Ano yan? Attorney,
The
yung
very
picture niya sa may,
talented Mr. Duway.
sa may Jurassic Coast yata yan, Durdle Door, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, Kung hindi ako nagkakamali. Tama ba, Edgar? Okay, sino to? Uy, si Oliver, nag-ano rin, nag-YouTube. Tama, YouTube.
Po.
Oo.
Yeah. That's so nice nga, no? It's hi, Mr.
both.
Fernandez. Yeah.
Oo. Yan.
Yeah, so we're both there.
The fog is, okay, yeah, okay. Binulit niya rin, no? So, good, okay, thanks. Okay, ulit, next. Sige, Duway ulit. Ano to?
Semantic. Yeah, you preempting my topic, Mr. Duway.
Magagalit si attorney Magagalit si attorney. Wag muna. Naka-ready na yan Oo, naka-ready na. Na-preempt tayo. Ang galing naman talaga. O nga, yan ba ang
Yeah.
balita mo ngayon, di ba? Yan ang balita mo. Naka-prepare na. Meron tayong naka-prepare
Pag-usapan
na
natin. Yeah.
malaking poster. Oo. Asan na ba?
yun na nga.
Next,
Miss
anong message?
Hobbs. Oh,
Lizzie.
black is sexy. Oh, I love you, Miss Hobbs. Talaga.
Kita mo naman talaga.
Well, actually, yeah, it can be. You know, yung nga, black color attire was very formal. Tama ka, Miss Mendez. Yeah.
Oo.
Yeah, it mean black or dark blue is always a go-to court attire, no? But
Very
I must say
formal,
nga
oh.
today,
Maganda.
it's just ang lamig ngayon eh. So I was going for long sleeve plus boots.
Was it, anong araw ba ngayon? Thursday. I think it was Tuesday morning when I decided to do a bit of a run, mga 15-20 minutes. Ang weather yata nun, 11 degrees. 11 or 10 degrees, no? Early morning.
Wow.
So, malamig na talaga. It's malamig na. We're not, mamaya, single digits na yan. 9 degrees, 8 degrees, 7 degrees, di ba? Malamig na. Kaya,
Yeah.
Kaya, ayan. Okay. Alright, next. Sino ang susunod? Uy! Talking of the lady, here she is now. Attorney,
Miss
Oh,
Perry.
Miss
Yeah,
Perry,
we're just speaking about you, no?
Oh.
So yeah, hi attorney and Sir Sonny. Hi, Miss Perry.
All
We're
right,
just
okay.
exactly talking
Alright.
about you.
Pinag-uusapan natin. Taga saan ka? Are you California-based nga pala? Nakalimutan namin, no? Okay. Sino, Alisa,
Yeah,
Sofia,
again from
Silverio. Alisa, Sofia,
yeah.
mabuhay, ha? Thank you. Yan,
From YouTube.
Sa YouTube. Galing talaga. Very good. Ito, basahin mo nga ito. Pag nabasa mo yan, Tony.
Wow.
Baka ikaw bigyan ng regalo niyan. Pilipina yan, no? Filipina
Yeah,
siya.
Felinda Zivoska. Zivoska? Siguro mali yun, ano?
Zivoska ba?
Yung
Ganun ba?
pronunciation. Zivoska. So you don't pronounce the G and the R, kaya?
Kamukha ni, sino
Hello
bang-
po from Warsaw.
Sino isang viewer natin? Si, Ajich? Di ba?
Yeah,
Si,
yeah, you always say that well.
Ajich.
Yeah,
Tama.
yeah,
Yun.
they're moving to
Ajich.
Ireland, I think, or no?
Yes,
Yeah.
that
Tama
lady.
po ba yan? Zivoska.
Okay.
Zivoska? Tama po ba yan?
Paano ba pronounce? Sabagay, baka hindi niya rin mailagay phonetically yan kung paano, no? Pero she's according to the information I gathered, she's a Filipina bowler, yung bowling sa Poland. And I think she competes internationally, as far as I know. That's the information I gathered from our, sa ating information bureau ng Filipino TV Europe.
Excellent. No, really?
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Mr.
Bowler.
Duay. No, he's talaga, naiingit ako. Watching while cooking lumpia for dinner. Kain po tayo. Mr. Duay.
Nasa
lumpia
YouTube na rin
lovely.
sila. Nag-YouTube. Thank you. That's good. We really encourage people to watch us on both, no? YouTube and Facebook. Okay. Sino to? Susunod.
Si
Hobbs.
Rose Hobbs. Look at that picture. No, it's such lovely picture nga. Good evening, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday po.
Oh, happy Thursday. Happy
It's such
Thursday.
a happy picture.
Happy Thursday. Uy, si Rudy.
Yeah, the Libroho clan, no? Happy
Libroho
Thursday.
clan.
Hi, happy Thursday. Lovely blooming, Attorney Lira, and always good looking, Sir Sonny, and
Wow,
all
thank
viewers.
you.
Team Libroho.
Ayan, mabuhay yan, Team Libroho. Mabuhay. From Northern Ireland. I think it's Belfast, no? If hindi ako nagkakamali. Alam mo, Attorney, international star ka na, no? From California to Poland to Spain, of course, UK, no? But the nicest thing about it is we don't let people know, hey, don't join us because you're not from the UK. No, welcome kayo. Welcome kayo rito. Tuloy kayo kabayan, no? And it's really wonderful talaga na you guys are with us, no? Nanonood sa atin. Okay, sige.
Tingnan
We'll
mo
have
naman, Ed.
ano ba?
Sandali
Oh, okay.
muna. No. Ed
sorry.
is being
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
very kind to me, no? So,
Oo.
quarter turn naman, elegant Lira. Attorney, par elegante
Parang
talaga.
quarter turn man, gano'n? Parang ba ang quarter turn?
Quarter 10, gano'n.
Ayan,
So,
oo. Oo. Hindi kasi ganda tignan kasi yung, hindi maganda yung hair mo, long flowing hair, and then you wearing this, how do you call that, attorney? Itong itaas mo, how do you call that? How do you technically call
I
it?
suppose it's It's turtleneck, no? Turtleneck. Dahil nga, it covers my neck, so
Oo.
it's turtleneck dress, no?
Okay.
But yeah, no, thank you. Yes, it keeps me warm at least. Yeah, and but I like your shirt. I wish I tell you, it was so cold today. I just couldn't, and I could not wear anything kind of bright and short sleeved. It was just too cold. Ang lamig ngayon. Winter's back.
I know.
But,
Oh. Pero attorney, before we go into a break, tanong ko lang sa'yo, would you remember when the last time we had that you could remember that we had snow in London? Yung makapal
at
I don't know,
least
sa lugar mo, Richmond
makapal.
yata, baka parang Surrey side na siguro, baka makapal. Pero ang nakikita ko kasi bisang mag-snow, pero a few wala na kagad eh. When was the time na makapal ang snow natin sa London? Would you remember?
3 years ago, maybe even 4 years. No, I mean, I remember actually in Richmond, ang kapal nga, I went to the park with the dog, in fact, and he was going a little bit mad. Like there were snowmen everywhere. No, I don't think he'd ever seen a snowman. No, he wasn't really sure. No, so and there were sticks also because of course they had arms. The snowmen. And so he was. I think he thought it was kind of Christmas for him because there's ice, there's snow, there's sticks everywhere.
So people were really building mga snowmen, mga ganon.
Yeah.
Galing.
Yeah, so it's lovely.
Malapit lang ako.
Yeah.
I'm actually, if I take nagbike ako, siguro wala pang less than mga 5 to 10 minutes siguro. Nasa Richmond na ako. Nandito kami sa side ng Do you know where the Lawn Tennis Association is? Yung LTA? Do you know where, entrance? Roehampton entrance, ang side namin.
Roehampton.
Ang side mo yata, yung doon sa bandang, ano ba yan? Yung bang, kanyari, Sainsbury's, let's say Sainsbury's, and you go straight in, papasok ka ng Richmond, and you take that road yata, it takes you to that entrance. O, hindi ba? Yung parang side end. Anyway, hindi ko masyadong kabisadong. Ano entrance mo ba? Kasi maraming entrance ang, meron isang from the side of Kingston Hospital, may isang side doon. May isang side na Roehampton, may isang side na ilan ba gates ng 1, 2, 3, 4 mga 4 or 5 gates yata ang Richmond Park. Pero doon ka sa Richmond so I'm sure that's the only entrance from the side of Richmond. Yun lang ang entrance nun. Kasi may isang entrance din sa Barnes. So hindi yun, tama. Yun doon ka sa main sa Kingston.
So we have the park in between us, no? So
yes, we have the park,
on
the
one
whole
side of
white
the park
in between us. So tama
yeah.
Yun. We were there.
And then I'm on the other side.
We were there last Sunday. Sunday ba o Saturday? Nag-drive kami. They don't allow, puro bikes na lang eh. They don't allow yung, basta sa side ko, hindi na pwedeng lumayo eh. Hindi mo na pwedeng ikutin. We wanted to do to just go around. Teka muna, yung mga aso mo, nakakita na ng deer?
Oh yeah. No, you have to. He's a very. Sometimes he's a well-behaved dog. Half of the time he's well-behaved. You just can't tell which half of the time it would be. No. So, but
ano
yeah,
siya?
no. I mean, he.
Anong dog siya?
He's a very large, and he's actually on a diet. Nga, he's a Labrador. One of those golden color, light Labrador.
Wow.
Nga. So ang pangalan niya is Watson, no?
Watson.
So, Watson.
Lalaki ba? Lalaki Watson.
Lalaki.
Okay.
So,
Ilang years mo lang aso?
He's
Ilang taon na siya?
matagal na. So he's nearly 8. So it's
okay.
matanda na. Matanda na nga siya. So it's
in 1 years yun ilang taon na kaya siya?
It's times 7, no? 7 times 7 is 49, di ba? No? So yeah,
56.
So he's
56 na.
He's my age.
56. para pa kayo pala magkakaedad kayo nila Marites Allen, ganyan, no? So yeah. Well, okay. Let's have a break na muna ngayon, and when we come back, yung sinusurprise tayo ni pakita mo nga rito, direct, yung poster na malaki na ito yung i-announce ni attorney. Ayan, tama ba? Off the breaking.
Yeah.
Sige, balik mo na sa amin direct. Okay. So, ayan ho, may breaking news. Tama-tama yung sinabi ni Edgar at nagagalit si attorney na preempt. Surprise sana. Na joke lang. Okay. All right. We're gonna have a short break and when we come back, we're gonna be discussing ito. Ano ba topic natin?
Yeah, so it's
Yun lang.
Philippines
Yun yun.
off the red list. So what do you do now? No, what's the consequence of this? Or will be off the red list? No, what does that mean for travel nga? So kung uwi kayo sa atin, pabalik
Yes.
nga dito, anong kailangan nyo gawin?
Yan. Maganda na yan. Kasi wala na. At naku, balik na naman tayo sa happy days in a way for traveling, no? Maski paano, we can now go to the Philippines. At hopefully, Philippines, walang problema pagpunta na rito. Diba? Hindi naman ganun ka-problemado. Alright, we're gonna have a short break. At ayun ho, yung topic na i-discuss natin, pakinggan natin mula kay attorney, no? Wag ho kayong aalis. Kami po ay magbabalik dito po sa Immigration Corner. Saglit po lamang.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
%100% all natural, tasty, healthy, versatile, 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galettos.
Tapos yan yung niluto ko Pero pa. Paborito ko yan.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Okay, balik ko tayo sa ating palatuntunan, Immigration Corner. Ako po si SONNY Laragan on a happy Thursday. Siyempre, kasama natin yung pinakamamahal nating abogada, no? Immigration expert, ang managing partner po ng Douglas Simon Solicitors. Walang iba kundi yung ating pinakamamahal na naka-turtleneck na black, si Attorney LIRA, SIMON-CABATBAT. Ayan. Oops, ayan. Okay. Yun. Yes, good evening once again. Ayan. Attorney, so ito na, no? Na-preempt tayo ni Edgar, pero we had it prepared. Pakita mo direct yung ating flash mga uli yung ating yung ating yung i-anunsyo ni ni attorney. Ayan, sige. Okay. Ayun. Ayan. So breaking news, Philippines is off the red countries list. Ayun. All right. So attorney, take it away.
Okay. Yeah, so yung nga po, it truly is breaking news nga, no? It was announced actually on the Home Office website at 6:01 today, no? So it's about 2 hours old, no? Itong balita nga. So from 4 a.m. On Monday, nitong Monday na ito, 11th of October, Philippines will no longer be on the red list for entering England, which means so many things. I tell you, nung nabalitaan ko nga, nakita ko, I was so happy, no? And I love Thursdays anyway, but today, at least I have some, it's always great to be able to give good news, and this certainly is excellent news. For those of you na you want to go back, and you or you want to holiday, or you want to, kung meron kayong mga kaibigan, kamag-anak na gusto pumunta dito, And so it's great news, and I've been waiting for this for a long time. And coincidentally, actually, kahapon nga lang, I was actually looking up ano bang mga conditions in order for a country to remain on the red list or indeed to come off the red list. There's even a petition, a government petition nga, to take the Philippines out of the red list country. But anyway, we don't need that now dahil mangyayari na nga. Finally, thank goodness, I'm so happy about it nga, on Monday. So from Monday po, nitong Monday na ito, at 4 a.m., no, the Philippines will no longer be on the red list. And there are still countries on the red list, but there are not many of them. I think there are only about 7 or so left. But Philippines will no longer be on the red list. Now, anong ibig sabihin nga nito? So, unang-una po, mga taong papasok nga dito, gusto nang pumasok dito, gusto na bumisita nga, mga kaibigan, kamag-anak, they can do that now, no? Because the Philippines no longer a red list country. So kung gusto niyo bumisita nga dito, you can do that. And actually on bukas, no? Meron akong mga klayante na iniintay nga namin to dahil meron silang mga kamag-anak, mga kaibigan na gustong pumasok nga dito, gusto silang bisitahin. And so we can start finally, no, or resume the process. Kung meron ngayon kayong application nga sa atin, sabihin natin may kamag-anak kayo, nag-apply nga sila, hindi pa natatapos yung application nila for visit visa, that will now, because they're suspended, making the decisions, that will now continue again. So you will find that finally you will hear from the Home Office. They will start looking at the applications and hopefully granting applications to come into the United Kingdom. So kung gusto nyo bumisita, visitors will be allowed then to come into the United Kingdom, which is great news, no? Now, so, but kung galing kayo sa Pinas, papasok nga kayo dito, mga restrictions, that will depend on whether you're fully vaccinated or not. Pag-usapan natin mamaya yun. So that's one great news. Visitors can come into the United Kingdom from the Philippines starting Monday at 4 a.m. Now, if you are, for whatever reason, you're looking to come into the country before Monday and you're coming in from the Philippines, obviously not as a visitor because you won't be allowed yet, but you're coming back in as a spouse, sabihin natin, you still need to quarantine, no? So if you're arriving at the weekend, sad, but you still have to quarantine, even though a day later will be off the red list. But so the cut-off time is strictly 4 a.m. on Monday. Any persons coming in before that, it's still the red list. If you like, conditions will apply. So if you already booked or but you're not coming, see if you can change it nga. Because of course, if you are coming in on a Saturday, well, tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, then you would have the quarantine hotels to contend with, for example. So yun po una, visitors can come into the country, which is great news. Now, if you are, however, going, sabihin natin, most of the a very more common scenario nga is nandito kayo, no? Dito kayo nakatira. Sabihin natin, breach na kayo o indefinite kayo o kaya meron kayong spouse visa nga dito. Tapos gusto nyong bumisita sa atin, no? Matagal na kayo hindi nakauwi because of COVID and you want to do that now. Now, can you do that? The answer is yes, absolutely. You could anyway before, but the good news is, kung nandito kayo galing, uuwi kayo sa atin, again, if you're fully vaccinated or indeed not, no? Uwi kayo sa atin, you go to the Philippines and you have to still go through the restrictions in the Philippines, but then you can come back into the UK, no? And again, dahil hindi na tayo red list, the Philippines, you don't have to do the hotel quarantine. So let's look now at the process. So the main thing they will look at now, or the starting point rather, is are you or not fully vaccinated? Now, if you're not fully vaccinated, you will be treated as if you're not vaccinated at all. So the distinction really is you full vaccination or not full vaccination or not vaccinated at all. No, for those two, the last two, it's the same process nga. So if you're fully vaccinated, you need to be able to prove that that you've had an approved vaccination. So it could be, you can prove that, for example, by way of a vaccine certificate. Pero kung galing nga kayo dito, so sabihin natin you've had your full jabs nga dito, and because you're living in England and you go back to the Philippines, bibisita nga lang, balikbayan, pabalik nga dito, then you would of course likely have your NHS COVID pass if you live in England, and you know that you can of course download that simply on your phone, no? If you live in the EU, then there's the EU digital COVID certificate. For US, there's the CDC vaccination card, and for most others, yung vaccination certificate. Now, the vaccination certificate should of course say pangalan nyo, birthday, vaccine brand, manufacturer. Now, there are, of course, they want to make sure that it is the vaccination, the course that you've undertaken is indeed approved, no? And so they would a course, full course of AstraZeneca, the Oxford one nga, Pfizer, Moderna, Janssen, all those would be accepted, no, nga dito. And in the Philippines, I think uso nga, mas uso yung Janssen, I think sa atin nga, and I think it could also be Moderna. So just check that it is it's approved nga, no. So from that will happen nga from Monday. So if you're fully vaccinated and you can prove that's the first thing, then what do you need to do? Okay, now there you after you arrive in the UK, you must take the COVID-19 test on or before day 2. You have to book that before your traveling to the UK. But otherwise, there's not really much more, no? That you're fully vaccinated. And I think at the end of the month, they're also going to be making it a bit easier, also less expensive, the test that you need to undertake. So so coming back to the UK, not such a great fuss, no? You don't have to go through to the quarantine hotel, which I think is 2,200 from Monday nga. So that's one thing, but only if you're fully vaccinated. If you're not fully vaccinated or you're not vaccinated at all, there are a few more things na kailangan yung gawin. So for one thing, you have to take your COVID-19 test 3 days before you're traveling to the United Kingdom, for example. Book and pay for day 2 and day 8 of the test, no? To be taken pagka nandito na nga kayo. And of course, you need to complete the passenger locator form. Pagka nandito na kayo, you need to quarantine at home or in the place where you're staying for 10 days. Na? So if you're just from a purely practical point of view, if you're thinking or not of getting fully jabbed, then this definitely this is an argument to get fully vaccinated. Because once you're fully vaccinated, as I say, the fuss of traveling in and out of the United Kingdom is far less, even if you're coming from the Philippines, no? So it's great news, so if we apply it on a practical basis, nandito kayo, so sabihin natin ako, gusto kong umuwi sa atin nga, no? I'm double jabbed already, and so I will be able to show that I have the approved vaccination nga, and I have that down. I can download that on my phone, so I can book now a ticket nga to go back home sa Pinas nga, and then of course sa Pinas there are different rules also, and I think it's still there's a quarantine expectations nga. We have to follow that, no? Kung ano man ang batas doon. So I would still, I can travel from the UK, I go back to the Philippines, and in the Philippines I have to quarantine as required. From the Philippines, pabalik nga dito, not such a great fuss, because after arriving in the UK, in England, you then take the COVID test on or before day 2, and that's pretty much it. I don't need to quarantine pagka nandito na ako. So I cannot emphasize strongly enough, if you are even putting aside, of course, the issue of health, how important this is, practically speaking, no? Kung hindi nyo pa ginagawa ito, you should really get fully jabbed. No, it just will make life so much easier for traveling. And as I've said, it's also great news for those who wants to come and visit. No, finally, the people from the Philippines will be able to also come and visit the United Kingdom. Just beware, of course, if it's the other way around, if you're going to visit the Philippines, just beware that you are able to, because as I've said, there are restrictions, of course, in the Philippines we need to follow. So, pero kung balikbayan kayo, or Filipino kayo, or former Filipino, and indeed your family, you are allowed to go to the Philippines, or your seafarers nga, or indeed you have the retiree visas. But the pure visitors, that's still limited nga sa atin. But hopefully that also changes given the changes that's happening now here. But for the moment, if you're looking to book nga, and you just you're visiting the Philippines, but you're not Filipino, you're not former Filipino, you're not married to Filipino, beware. Before you book it, check out nga that you are allowed actually, and of course you also need the visa. So it's great news. It's wonderful. It's I think a step in the right direction nga. Hopefully life will get a bit better. So it's a great step to normality. And of course the important thing is family reunification. Marami tayong there are so many people who have not seen their family for such a long time, and are worried. It's and just in time for Christmas, which is great news. So it's excellent, and hopefully it doesn't get we don't go back. But the more people who get vaccinated, of course, the safer everyone would be. So I urge you to. But in the meantime, cause for celebration.
Yes, nako, Merry Christmas. Ngayon pa lang, dahil bear na ngayon October na pala. I'm sorry, October na.
October.
Oo.
Yeah.
Alam mo ba na merong hotel sa I forgot the name. Hindi ko alam kung Tewksbury yun. Yung mga hotel pala, so that they can encourage early bookings ng mga Christmas parties. Meron ng mga Christmas trees sa mga hotel lobbies. Yung mga inns, yung mga nakakatuwa naman, no? Because all the while, iniisip natin sa Pilipinas lang, di ba, maaga sa Pilipinas, meron mga Christmas songs, di ba, pag berber pa lang. Which reminds me, attorney, we should be playing Filipino songs mga pala sa Pinoy Radio UK, no? Para nang sa ganun na mapakinggan nila. Oo nga pala, direct, yung ating nga pala mga Christmas songs. Okay. So ngayon, good news. At tama-tama, sabi ko, Christmas, kaya nga nag-Merry Christmas tayo dahil it's an opportunity for how many years pa tayo medyo bitin. Kasi hindi lang yung papunta rito tayo rin tayo ba sa Pilipinas, going back to the Philippines, do we have any problem?
It's the same restrictions nga apply. So as long as tayo nga pwede tayong umuwi because we're natural born Filipino, we're regardless of what passport you have now nga. Balikbayans okay, former Filipinos okay, family, spouse and children nga of Filipinos okay. So we can, yung nga lang we still need to follow, of course, the restrictions there. And as far as I understand it, yung nga there's still quarantine rules.
Quarantine rules
sa atin. But that's okay. No, at least makikita mong pamilya mo, which is great.
Ayan. Oo, totoo 'yan. Yung aking friend nga na na umuwi, anak ng aking friend, yun nga, nag-quarantine din, nag-quarantine talaga, maski Pinoy na yun. And in the Philippines daw, kunyari, uuwi sila, they take the flight from, let's say, from Manila to Jensen. Merong sasakyan doon sa airport, barangay, kung saan barangay ka, idadaling ka. Hindi pwede kang sunduin ng loved ones mo, or may sundo-sunod, di ba? Sa atin, sa airport, sa Pilipinas, susunduin, hindi. Sa mga provinces, hindi. Ihahatid ka. Yun ang parang protocol o yun yata ang kanilang SOP, Standard Operating Procedure, na kailangan daanan ka, ihatid ka kung anong barangay ka. So, ayan. Well, good news, 6 o'clock sabi mo. Tama ba?
Yeah, so it was updated.
Tonight?
The Home Office website Yeah, so it was uploaded on the Home Office website at 6:01. No, it could be that it was announced a bit earlier, but yeah, it's about two hours, no, 3 hours maximum, no. So I tell you, it's great news, no. And truly in time for Christmas,
Yes.
because I've also I have some clients who have not come back nga, no, from the Philippines, partly because ang mahal nga nung quarantine hotels,
Dito,
2,200.
yes. Oo.
Yeah.
Pero mo kung family of
So they
5
can
kayo,
come back now.
imagine mo family of 5 kayo, it really costs a fortune. Di ba? Meron nga during the start nung nagkaroon ng mga quarantine, there's this, hindi ko alam kung family to na nasa South America, mga Britons, no? Na ano sila, sabi nila, mag-stay na lang muna kami rito rather than going back home to the UK dahil ang mahal. Di ba? Pero kailangan double job, di ba? If you're coming from the Philippines, you have to have at least to show na double job ka na, no? Dahil kami, it's very nice kung naka-double job ka na, no? Yung ating friend, may friend, yung kaibigan si Marites Allen, ano sila nagta-travel ngayon sila, nasa Prague sila ngayon. And
wow.
a couple of weeks or 3 weeks ago, or 4 weeks ago, nasa Greece din sila. Yung mga Santorini, yung mga, alam mo pala yung, di ba, have you, sa Greece, yung Crete, we read it as a Crete, di ba? Crete, R-C-R-E-T-E. Ang basa pala nila doon sa, ang basa pala nila, Crete.
Ah, talaga?
Yeah.
I
Basa
didn't know
natin
that.
Crete. Yeah. I didn't know it
Yeah.
until we had the ambassador, the Philippine ambassador to Greece, si, ano pangalan nito? I forgot his name. Giovanni Palek. Ayan, Giovanni Palek is the current ambassador to Greece in Athens, sa Athens. And he handles, he covers, or he has jurisdiction over Cyprus and Greece and North Macedonia. Ayan.
Oh, I see. Wow.
Yeah. So Crete, hindi Crete, we just read this as Crete, di ba? Ganyan, no? Mykonos, ano ba yung mga islands diyan? Yan, Crete, I should say. May good news. Natutuwa naman ako, attorney, at di ba? May nakakatuwa at meron tayong ang tag dito, yun nga, chance na yung mga nasa Pilipinas pwede nang pumasok dito, wala na tayo sa red list. Monday.
Yeah.
Oy, Monday
Yun na
pa.
nga po. I mean, there are a few applications outstanding actually. Then nagpasok nga yung mga yung tao, sabihin natin, no, nagpasok na application for visit visa. And then we got on the red list. And so what they've done is they've just deferred it, no? So they have not made decisions nga on the applications. And I know of quite a few outstanding. So ngayon, they can start sorting it out.
Yes.
So it really is, it's great news, and it's come at the right time also, no? In time for Christmas. So hopefully,
In time
mga
for
kababayan
Christmas.
natin, would have a nicer Christmas. Because was it last year? Of course, Christmas. Wow, bitin ng Christmas last year, because of COVID nga, travel. And then I suppose the year before already was a bit of a concern, no? Potentially. So it could be 2 Christmases, yeah?
Pero how did you find out, attorney? How did you know na, yun nga, biglang lumabas? How did you know? Was there like a parang BBC News alert sa mobile phone mo? Or were you chance upon just checking on the yung home office websites, ano?
I have a home office alert, no? So I set it up, yeah. So yun.
Okay.
Yeah. So
kayo mga
it's
ano yan, sa mga immigration lawyers, or can anybody, like for example me or anybody, the viewers natin, can they get a home office alert?
yeah.
po pwede.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay.
You know, it's
Oo.
it's open to the public nga.
Ah.
It's just the alert is for all, you know, news. So it could be an update, for example, nga on certain immigration rules. And in this case, of course, no, an update in relation nga to travel. It could also be update on something that's, you know, completely irrelevant to what I do, no. But so yeah, so I mean, I
Maganda.
get
Maganda, no? Maganda yan.
yung nga lang mapupuno yung inbox mo, no. So it's a question of really going through. But when nung nakuha ko to, I mean, whatever alerts they send me, I always open because I've been waiting for this since we were on the red list. So nakuha ko, I literally jumped for joy.
Oo. Yeah, ako rin.
I was
Kung
so
nabasa ko yan.
happy.
Yeah, because a lot of people really are looking forward to coming back, coming over. So ngayon, for example, yung mga sinasabi nilang, yung mga may chance na, ano pangalan ito? Ngayon, yung dating may chance na di ba, they have to come back within 2. Ano nga pala, pagka problema, let's say, kung hindi natuloy itong 1 year na to, itong ano na to, paano sila uuwi? Di ba, you have 2 years, within 2 years. Pero, if you are what do you call this? Somebody with unlimited leave to remain, ILR. Wala ka naman problema pumasok dito, di ba? So, what is the issue, for example, of saying, I couldn't go back to the UK because I'm stuck here? Hindi pwede excuse, no? O pwede excuse yan? Di ba? Di ba 2 years? Di ba every 2 years you shouldn't be out of the country for longer than 2 years? What were the cases that we had before that because of the difficulty of coming over had some impact or effect on some immigration concerns? Ano ba yung mga usually problema na na-encounter mo o natin? Yeah.
Yeah, it's I suppose one of the first people that came to mind nung nakita ko nga ito is I have meron kong kliyente who's she's stuck nga, no, sa Pinas at the moment, not because of her immigration necessarily, dahil indefinite na nga siya. She's been there now. I mean, she's not anywhere near 2 years, but she's been there a long time. The reason is ayaw niyang iwanan yung magulang niya, no. And she's very committed to, you know, devoted nga to her parents. Ayaw silang iwanan. So kung magkasakit nga sila, mahawa nga yung COVID, no, she just wants to be there. So although strictly speaking, nothing stopping her from coming back, no, and until Monday, going through the quarantine hotel. It was a question really of if I go now, balik ako sa UK, it means I quarantine there. If I want to go back again, na naman, no, quarantine naman sa Pinas, and it can be so. It's a lot of people who, you know, if you like, you know, are stuck nga in say the Philippines, is not necessarily because of them, but because pamilya nga nila sa atin.
Yung mga reasons,
yeah,
no? Beyond, no? Oh, okay. Or it's a choice, siguro. They have no choice, siguro. Yung mom, kunyari, they have to accompany. Especially kung tinamaan pa ng, yung mom nila, no? Ng COVID, no? Marami ako mga kakilala, they really passed away because of, they died because of COVID, no? One of the writers of Attorney Dana, doon sa kanilang, because we have the Filipino writers, I won't mention his name anymore, pero he passed away because of COVID. The guy who handles yung ating mga plugs and promos, namatay din because of COVID, no? So, ayan, malungkot talaga, no? Okay, well, attorney, meron tayo isang question dito. Wala nang editing, no, coming from our viewer. Kung ano, as is.
Okay.
We just, yan, ito na, pinasok lang natin as is yung kanyang message. Okay, pakibasa, attorney. Okay. Immigration question.
So galing po to kay Melanie Armstrong. Need advice about my spouse visa. This month, I'll be 5 years here in the UK, and supposedly I can apply for citizenship. But when I renewed my visa last 2019, my solicitor didn't tell me that I need to take an English exam. Oh, we used my old A1 exam instead. That's why Home Office moved me to 10-year route. Oh dear. Okay, my spouse visa will expire this coming January, and I'm confused if I can still apply for citizenship after I take the English exam and renew my visa, or do I need to wait another 10 years before I can apply for citizenship? Okay, Melanie, let's break it down, okay? It raises a number of points. So, the time that you can apply nga for yung naturalization, the usually yung I think last week pinag-usapan natin, usually you need to show 12 months after getting indefinite before you can apply for naturalization to get nga citizenship, no? Pero kung kasal ka sa Briton dito, you don't need to wait for the 12 months in between. And that would still apply to you. So as soon as you get indefinite leave to remain, as long as you are married to a British citizen in the United Kingdom, regardless of how you arrive to the indefinite, hindi mo pa rin kailangan yung 12 months, no? Because the main issue is, have you been married to the British citizen? Well, actually, there's the 3 year, no? Have you been married to the British citizen at least 3 years? And if the answer to that is yes, you don't need the 12 months after getting indefinite to apply for naturalization and therefore citizenship. Now, so that is so you don't have to worry about that. But ang mas malaking problema dun sa kaso mo is the fact that you were moved, no? Now, if you were, if all your applications were in time, but the problem is nawala, you were moved from a spouse. Yung sinasabi mo, yung spouse visa mo, actually you probably are not on a spouse visa now. You are on the 10, well, it's still relationship, but you're now on the 10-year route. Under that route, no, kailangan mong pakita 10 years. Now, separately though from that, you can still argue that you, if you made an application in time, no, so wala ngang gap, then you can, if you've clocked up 10 years anyway in total, then you can make an application under the lawful residence. So let me just clarify that a little bit. So if you're now on the 10-year route, then you can't simply apply for indefinite leave to remain dahil hindi na yun ang visa mo no? You now have you're no longer on the spousal route. You are actually now on the 10-year route. No? So the next thing you need to look at is, okay, how many years na ako dito? If anyway, kahit kung ano mang ang visa mo na nga ngayon, you've clocked up 10 years anyway, then under what's called the lawful residence, 10-year lawful residence route, you can still apply for indefinite leave to remain. But it's a question now of whether you have clocked up continuous, valid, legal stay in the United Kingdom a total of 10 years by the time your visa now is going to expire. No? If the answer is no, then you cannot make use of the lawful residence route. So I'm not surprised you're confused because there are quite a few things going on nga. But the if however nagbago nga ang visa mo, binago nila because you did not satisfy nga the requirements for spousal route, then bad news, Melanie. It's it means that you, strictly speaking, need to complete the 10 years rather nga than the 5 years. So ang payo ko, have a look, count how many years you've been here valid nga, kailangan may visa ka. If you 10 years, then wala kang problema. If it's less than 10 years, pero nagbago nga ang visa mo from a spouse to something else, problema po yun. Because strictly speaking, you're no longer on the spousal route. So if you're going to go with that route, then yes, you strictly speaking, you have to wait nga 10 years. But you will find you don't actually need to wait the 10 years. Dahil pwede mong idagdag yung spouse visa mo to the 10 to now the visa mo ngayon. So you're looking at, if you already did 5 years and then you do another no, another 5 years nga, which means you have another 5 years to go. But it is confusing, no? I appreciate Melanie. So gawin mo ito. Kung hindi mo, if I haven't explained that terribly well, because there are quite a few things nga involved, email me yung telephone number mo, and then gawin natin, pag-usapan natin bukas, and I'll explain it to you, and hopefully I make myself clear if it's nga, kung hindi nga klaro ngayon.
Alam mo, medyo confused ako, attorney, because I think topic ba natin last week or a couple of weeks ago, yung something about
Yeah.
you don't have, if you're the spouse, you don't have to wait for a longer time yata. Kunyari, you can immediately apply for citizenship yata as long as may number ka within a year, you haven't been away for a certain number of days. For within the last 5 years, you weren't. Ano yung topic natin last time? Parang ganun eh. I'm quite confused. Bakit
Yeah.
ito? She's going the 10-year route. Parang kawawa naman.
Yeah, but maybe let's look at it this way. So, kay Melanie, kung hindi nga ito nangyari, no? Hindi nga nangyari yung may nagkamali. And you simply, you got your, pumasok ka dito, spouse visa ka, no? Tapos, you extended it, and you got it also, and then another spouse visa, so 5 years. Kung yun ang situation, then you get your indefinite leave to remain. Pagka nakuha mo ng indefinite leave to remain, hindi mo kailangan mag-intay ng
1 year.
1 year uli. Yeah? Dahil nga, kasal ka sa Briton, you've been married to that person a minimum of 3 years anyway, because obviously you've clocked up 5 years already. So you don't need to wait the 1 year usually na kailangan mong intayin. You can immediately apply for naturalization, leading to, of course, a British passport, no? This is assuming na wala kang immigration problems in the past. Ang problema kay Melanie naputol, if you like, yung spouse visa niya. Dahil may nagkamali, no? So ang ginawa nila, they moved her from a spouse visa to the 10-year route, no? And because they moved her to the 10-year route, under the 10-year route, kailangan niyang pakita kung hindi nga spouse, 10 years, no? But the good thing is, and ipaba ito, if you, kung hindi ka na, that problem does not necessarily mean nga 10 years ang kailangan mo from the beginning that you got it, no? Maybe 2 years ago. There's something else, iba nga din to, the lawful residence route, which is in itself 10 years. Pero kailangan pakita, tuloy-tuloy ang visa mo 10 years. So there, you can make an application after an accumulation of 10 years lawful residence in the United Kingdom. How you got that, spouse visa o kaya extension on the basis of outside the normal rules, relationship, it doesn't matter. As long as you can show that you've had lawful residence. But when you can apply, so when you get indefinite under the lawful residence route, when you can apply for citizenship, naturalization, same thing apply, same if you like, requirements. So hindi mo din kailangan pa rin, as long as you remain married to the British citizen, you'll be married obviously for longer than 3 years, and there are no character issues nga, you can still make an application immediately after getting the indefinite leave to remain. So there are 3 things that are, that's why it gets a bit confusing, because there's the spousal route, there's the 10-year route, no? So outside the normal rules when you can prove relationship anyway, and then there's the lawful residence route, no? So all those 3 things, plus of course the naturalization issue, come into play. That's why it's confusing.
Oo nga, medyo na confusing, no? Okay. Pero ano yung sinasabing mali ng English test? 'Di ba normally before you become a spouse yata, para before yung visa, yun ang exam mo, 'di ba? Yung ano yung basic English exam, attorney? 'Di ba merong
A1.
A1 o B1 yata yung sa 'di ba yung exam na English ngayon pagka you have to pass the life in the UK test and yung B1 test, 'di ba? Kaya spouse ka o hindi, that's the exam that you have to take, di ba? Yung B1.
Yeah, that's
spouse,
for
okay
yeah. It's so for spouse po, when you enter the United Kingdom, you need the A1 nga, no? Now, then you may well you then need potentially the higher one, which is A2, no? Pagka nandito ka na, if you're making an application to extend your visa in the United Kingdom, no? So the second time that you make the application nga. Pagka nakakuha ka na noon, pagka kukuha ka na ng indefinite leave to remain, so after, when you're clocking up nga the 5 years, then the test you need to take is B1 English language, and then on top of that, the life in the UK, so that you, to get the indefinite. Pagka nakuha mo na yon, indefinite ka na nga dito, hindi mo kailangang ulitin uli. You can actually use the same two things, the life in the UK and the B1 test, for the naturalization application, at least at the moment. Pero balita ko, they may want to change that, no? But at the moment, if you have B1 English language and then the life in the UK, and then you want to apply for the naturalization, then you can use the same thing. So yun.
Okay. Ayan, all right. So, may tanong yata tayo rito. Sige, isa pa. Let's say, Miss Smith. Teka na, mag-greetings muna tayo, Pao. Sige, some greetings yan. Ante, sige. Doon na tayo sa question. Sige, may nagpapatanong daw yata rito. Virginia Smith, no? Okay. Go ahead. Yes. All right. Ayan. Attorney, may question tayo from yan. Okay. From our viewer, no? Sige.
Okay. So, galing po to kay Virginia Igrief Smith, no? Good evening, Attorney Lira and Kuya Sonny. May nagpapatanong lang po. She passed the UK life test last week, and she wants to apply for British naturalization this December. She passed the B1 English test in 2017. Is her English test still valid? Yes.
Yes. Oh. Okay. Okay. English test, pakiulit nga basa natin para I didn't get that much. O paulit nga natin.
So ito po, ang question nga niya. So ang una niyang ginawa yung life in the UK. She got that,
okay.
No?
Right.
And which is great. Dahil manghirap nga nung life in the UK,
she passed
no?
last week. Okay.
So yeah. Congratulations, no? Hindi yung basta-basta, no? But she passed the B1 English test in 2017. Is her English test still valid? The answer is yes.
Pwede ba yan, attorney?
Valid
Pwede
pa
pa lang, kasi yung mga kakilala ko, karamihan sa kanila, magla-life in the UK test. And then after life in the UK test, saka lang sila na mag-i-English test. Yung B1 ba yan? Anong English yan?
B1.
Oo.
Yeah, usually,
Bakit
tama ka.
napaaga to? Bakit napaaga English niya?
It could be that at the time nga maybe she needed it for work, no? May mga employer
okay.
they want to have
B1?
They want a higher level nga, no, of English, sabihin natin. It could be na nung tumating siya dito, maybe she had a student visa, for example, and that's why she still had a B1 test. So it's so it could be normal situation. Tama ka, Sonny, is and certainly mga kababayan natin, if you're thinking of doing this, tama ka. Do the life in the UK first.
Oo.
Yeah, yun ang unang gawin nyo, because that's the hardest one, no? So that may require quite a bit more studies nga, quite a bit more work. Gawin nyo muna yon, and then later on do the B1, because I mean, it's I would say siguro 95% tayong mga Pinoy, we pass the B1, no? So it's not like the IELTS for nurses, for example, where they have iba yon. It's a terrible grading system, but yeah, so it's not as bad as that. So the main thing is pinakamahirap po yung life in the UK, especially at the moment. Well, I mean, if you like history, if you like history and you're up to date current affairs nga, or indeed geography, you'll be fine with the life in the UK test. It's just, I mean, ibang pinag-aaralan natin sa atin, no? So our history, of course, is not terribly relevant to the life in the UK test nga dito, no? So it can be quite a tall order.
As attorney, di ba, on your fifth year, you now apply for your indefinite leave to remain, di ba? And then, bago ka mabigyan yan, you have to pass the life in the UK test, di ba?
Tama.
Tapos, siyempre, pag meron ka na, wait for a year, and then you apply for naturalization.
Yeah.
Tama ba? Tama. Pero parang, pwede ba yun? Can you think of, teka muna, mag-English test nga muna ako. Parang ganun. Parang, is it something natural ba for people to think na kuha muna ako ng English test bago ako mag-life in the UK test? Kasi parang normally, you would think na I hurdle first the hardest and then punta na ako doon sa kung pag naano ko na to, madali na naman pala English saka na lang. I was just medyo surprised lang ako na nauuna yung English. Meron din palang ganun pala na yung kanilang mindset, mag-i-English muna sila bago sila mag-life in the UK test. Kasi kung nakapasa ka ng life in the ng English test mo, yang bang English test walang ano yan, walang expiration, no? Hindi ka mukha nung pag sa driving, pag napasa mo yung ano ba tawag dito, yung theory test mo, you're given about I don't know 2 years yata. If you don't take the practical exam with that year, that period, wala na yun. You have to take another yung theory test sa driving. Ganyan ba sa B1?
No. Hindi po. So thank goodness, and also it wouldn't make so it's they don't have to she doesn't have to worry about that. Pero yung nga po, it's an unusual way of doing it, and but I've seen it also happen. So
You've
for
seen
example, meron ko mga kliyente, they needed it in order
For
to
work.
take up a certain type of employment, just so they can show nga that their level of English is sufficient for the job that they're looking for.
Yeah, pwede sa ganyan, no? Pwede sa ganyan. Although nasa sila, parang sa work nga nila kailangan. So yan, they were, di ba? Parang obligated to take the exam. Okay lang. So understandable. Okay, may message tayo rito. Sige. Thank you, Virgino. Thanks for ayan. Okay.
Okay, galing po to kay Ed Abdullah. Ma'am Lira, pwede bang pahingin ng Gmail nyo? Because I need it so much. Marami po akong tanong sa inyo. Since I'm planning to visit Denmark, I think she probably wants to say in January.
Denmark?
To my fiance po. Salamat. Watching from Kuwait. So, Ed, ibibigay ko
Pwede
sa
ka
yung
okay lang. Sige.
Have
Denmark
a look at my email later. And email me, no? And I'm happy, of course. Email me, and then we can lagay mo din telephone number mo, no? And because it could be na mas maganda nga pag-usapan natin, and I'll call you back.
Okay, all right. Sige. Another question dito. May question pa ba rito? Ano ba yan? Sige.
Okay, Ed. Patanong dan po, yung mga nurses dito, nakakukuha ng IELTS, pag nag-apply silang naturalization, dapat pa bang kumuha ng English test?
Maganda.
Yes. Iba po yun eh. But I mean, saying that, no, it depends really on kung dito sila nag-aral. It could be nung pinag-aral because they then had if you like, a degree, no, potentially taught in the United Kingdom. It could be that they're exempt from the B1 test because it's sufficient to be able to show that their level of English is already good enough, if not higher, no. So they don't need to do the B1. But the strict conditions are B1 unless you are exempt or you can show alternative qualifications. And absolutely po yung life in the UK. But as I say, no, and Ed is always on top of these things. Balita ko, it could be that changes, the naturalization. So if you can apply now po for naturalization, gawin nyo na, because I have a feeling, any changes to immigration to do with English and to do with finances is unlikely to be a relaxation of the current restrictions. If anything, lalo pang lalala. So if you can do it now,
Plus, the government has spent a lot of money on the pandemic. Baka this could be, di ba, they're thinking of increasing mga taxes, di ba, sa mga business taxes and so on and so forth. Baka ito rin, baka magtaas din ng fees, di ba, sa naturalization. Di ba? Hindi natin sigurado.
Sonny,
Di ba?
I think tamang-tama ka.
Diba?
It is only, I think it's going to be hiked up, no? Also the IHS now contributions. So at the moment, the IHS contribution, as most would know, is approximately £600 per year. It went up from £400 per year in October to £600 per year. So if you're asking for 2.5-year visa, the amount you have to pay is 1,560, no? Which is not in the scheme of things, no. It's good value, absolutely, because then you have access now to the NHS, no. So I really think that it's only going to be a matter of short time. I think that's the thing they're going to target, because there's room for there's wiggle room. There's quite a lot of wiggle room for justification of increasing that. So. But there's not an awful lot you can do if you need to pay it. But yeah, the fees to the Home Office in relation to naturalization.
Kunyari, itong current price na yan, malaki-laki na rin ng last time. Malaki-laki na ulit ng last time, no? So, tataas ang, no? Marami tayong mga friends na parang ang gastos, no? Kung ilang kami, di ba? Kung marami kayong mag-a-apply, di ba? So, napakagastos. Okay, ano ba ito, Direk? Ba't nakaturo yung ano mo? Ilalabas ba yan? Ayan, okay. Hindi ba binasa na yan kanina? Go ahead, please.
So galing po to. So I think that I want to say.
Abdallah ba to?
No, iba ata. Itanong ko lang po, kung tulad ko po ay yung fiance ko ayaw magpakasal, pero single siya. At mag-invite siya sa akin this January. So I want to stay longer in Denmark.
Pero yan, Denmark yan,
anong
attorney.
Visa? Anong visa po bang dapat niyang apply para sa akin? Salamat
Denmark
for watching from Kuwait. Denmark to, no? I don't know is the quick answer, Ed.
Denmark yan, Ed.
Unfortunately.
Nasa UK kami.
Yeah,
Nasa UK tayo.
Yeah, and
I don't know,
yeah.
attorney,
So,
can you answer that?
No, tama ka. Even when, for one thing, even when before Brexit nga, no, iba dahil manggagaling nga siya, I assume from, dahil manggagaling ka nga from Kuwait.
Kuwait, yes.
You need to apply the immigration rules applicable nga to Denmark. So, but ang gawin mo ito, if you want, email me still nga yung email mo, and then I'll send you the link.
Sige. Ayan, mamaya pagkatapos ng pag nagpaalam na kami sa close of the show, hindi yan, attorney to.
Okay.
Direct, no? Hindi kasi binibigay telephone number. Hindi ka naman pwedeng tumawag ng direkta ng Kuwait, no? Oo. Okay.
Look, si Miss Rafael.
Yes. Si Miss Rafael.
Yeah.
Nahuli siya ngayon.
Hi, Miss Rafael.
Parang, si Ma'am Cora Carzola pa bumati dyan. Parang hindi natin nakita, no? Yan, si Miss Rafael, si Emeline, mabuhay ka. Nandiyan pa siya hanggang pagkatapos ng New Year na yata siya na. After New Year. Wala yata si Wala yata si Ma'am Cora Carzola, yung ating MM Giling. Nabati mo ba si MM Giling? Nabasa mo na ba?
Hindi pa po. Hindi pa po.
Ito,
Miss Giling.
Yan. Si Miss Giling. Oo.
Hi. Okay.
Ayan,
Miss Giling. Yeah. No, she's the lovely Miss Giling. Good evening po. Happy Thursday, ma'am and sir, at sa lahat po. She's so lovely, Miss Giling. She's really, really,
Ako,
very
na-intriga ako talaga kay MM. Ayan, si May Tigbaw yata. May Tigbaw.
Yeah.
Mabuhay.
May Tigbaw Vargas. Yeah, Salamat po for watching. Good evening, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. Happy Thursday to all watching this program. Hi, May.
Happy Thursday. Uy, Attorney, Malaysia. Sige nga, Malaysia.
Wow.
Chodora Mahinay. Mahinay.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, of course. Good morning ba doon?
Good morning.
Good morning, Sir Sonny
Malaysia.
and Attorney Lear. Watching from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Hi, Miss Mahinay.
Hi.
Yeah.
Attorney, kita mo
That's
naman,
so
meron
nice
tayong
of you to join
Malaysia,
us.
meron tayong America, Kuwait, Poland, Spain,
So yeah,
everywhere. Ayan, oo. Oh yeah, si Miss
I'm
si
astonished.
Lydia, loner, Lydia. Idel,
Okay.
sorry. Sino ba? Si Ray La Chica pala. Sorry,
Si Ray,
La Chica. Yeah.
Ray La Chica, good evening. Yeah, where you watching from, Ray, you know?
Ray, saan ka
Good
nanonood?
evening, Kuya
Ayan.
Sonny Laragan.
Yes.
CP.
oo.
I don't know what
Hindi
CP
ko alam ano kaya
means.
CP na yan, no?
So.
Parang cellphone. CP. Mabuhay ka, Ray La Chica. Ayan, okay. Ayan. Sino ba daw? Si Edel, yan. Si Lydia Aloner. Si Lydia.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so
Oh.
good evening po, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. Happy Thursday, everyone.
Happy
Hi, Miss
Thursday.
Lona.
Oh,
Kamusta?
Lydia. Si Edel. Lydia yan, no? Aloner. Mabuhay. Okay, well, I guess it's time for us to say goodbye na siguro. Good evening po. Ayan, may tanong pa rito. Mabilis, isang tanong lang. Attorney, pahabol nga.
Okay, tingnan natin.
Sige.
Habol natin.
Last but not the least. Go ahead.
So, galing po to kay Annalyn Pino Hermoso. Good evening po. Just want to ask if my son could possibly stay in Philippines for more than 5 months next year, since he just arrived this year in March. His visa is EU Settlement Scheme Family Permit, and then he applied for pre-settlement and it was approved already. Yeah, that should be fine, Annalyn. So I wouldn't stay for much longer, no? Dahil you will find that may pagka magpapasok na siyang application, because pre-settled nga siya, no? When he makes an application later on for settlement nga dito, for indefinite leave to remain, absences may affect that. So kung ako kung walang dahilan na kailangan, I would dissuade him from staying that much longer. So 6 months may be okay, but even though he still only arrived in March, but be careful. It may not affect you now, but it will likely affect him later on.
Ayan, ha? Ayan, advice ni attorney. Okay. Inahanap ko si Ma'am Cora Carsolo. Bumati na raw pala kanina. Kita mo, di ba, hinahanap ko, kita mo, instantly sumagot. Sige, asan yung sagot niya? Ayan, attorney, oh.
Yeah, bumati ako kanina, Sir Sonny, Attorney Lira. And kanina pa. Hindi namin nakita. Sorry, madam.
Ma'am, yeah. Ano yan? She's our teacher sa grade school sa Notre Dame of Greater Manila. Notre Dame of Manila kung saan ako nag-graduate, no? Nagtapos, no? Ma'am, thank you. Okay. Ano to? I'm in Brittany, France. Ano yung Brittany, France na yan? Sa Ray La Chica.
Si La Chica. She's watching from Brittany, France. Kuya Sonny and Attorney Lira, working here temporarily. I hope you're okay. Yeah.
Mabuhay, Ray, ha? Ingat ka dyan, ha? Be safe and well. Ano? Keep safe and well always, no? Ayun. Sa Rose Hobbs, nagpapasalamat sila? Baka nagpapasalamat. Magandang balita, dagdag ka.
Si
Edgar Duway. Ayan, salamat sa magandang balita.
So, salamat. Magandang balita.
Mabuhay ka.
Yeah.
Ano to? May tanong na naman. Sige, papasukan natin. Baka para may ano na lang. Sige, ayan. Si Emmy Smith. Sige, go. Ernie Smith. Sige, pasok natin, attorney. Mabilis na lang para ano.
Okay, tingnan natin. Sure. So Emmy Smith. Hello, attorney. Year 2017, nag-apply ako ng UK citizenship. Kompleto naman ng papers ko, pero na-refuse ako. Ang anak ko lang na-approve nila sa UK citizen. Well, okay, it could be. I mean, the refusal could be based on many things, you know.
Medyo very kulang ang information yata niya, no? Tama ba?
But I will guess, no?
You will guess,
I think,
okay.
It could be na you had an immigration background because this is so common nga. Kung meron kang immigration background, gusto nang makita na malinis ang immigration mo for 10 years, ending with the date that you submit the application. So have a look when you first were granted yung visa mo, and then count 10 years from that, and then renew your application. So I'm guessing yun nangyari because it happens so often that happens. Yung mga bata, kung dito sa pinanganak, then it could be that they had no issues.
Siyempre,
but renew it. But check.
Teka muna, attorney. You say 10 years. 10 years ba sabi mo? Within 10 years.
Opo.
So, kunyari, nung kararating lang niya, may problema. Kunyari, the 10 years. So 9 years ago, within that period between the beginning and yung 9 years, o 10 years, pero yung parang may 1 year. Pwede bang, ano ba, i-move mo yun? Are you telling me technically, pag minove pa niya ng 1 year ang application, yung beyond 10 years, hindi papasok? Kung meron man siyang, meron siyang record or anything?
Yeah.
Ah,
So,
okay,
in her
ganun pala yun.
case, so sabihin natin, 2017. Kung nagka-problema, kung meron kang immigration problem in 2000, and sabihin
Seven.
natin in
Seven ba?
2010, sabihin natin, no?
Oh, 2010.
So, kung 2010, then kulang pa, hindi pa malinis ng 10 years. Now,
so mag 3 years ka pa.
if you had your first visa, so if you had your first visa though, in 2007, sabihin
Oo.
natin, no?
Tapos
Tapos kung
2010
2007 tuloy-tuloy ka,
Oo.
wala na, then it's okay dahil malinis ka na ng 10 years. You see?
Oo.
So it's the 10 years,
So
yung
kailangan 10
pinaka-importante.
years. So ang
Opo.
home office ba, let's say kung may sabit ka beyond 10 years, parang wala yun. Ang talaga ang limiting period is 10 years talaga?
Not always, depends kung ano nga nangyari. For immigration immigration issues, it's usually nga 10 years. I mean, they have discretion to grant it nevertheless, but usually nga 10 years. But in your case, no, Emmy, 2021 na tayo, no? So kung nakukuha ka ng visa, kung ito nga ang problema, I'm guessing, kung nakakuha kang visa in 2011, no? Di malinis ka ng 10 years nga ngayon. So which means you should submit it again.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, email ka rin kay attorney kung gusto mo linawin at kung kailangan mo pa rin talagang legal advice, no? Ayan, si Attorney Attorney Lira, no? Ayan. So, okay. Okay na. Sige, okay na tayo. Mga Rose Hubs, nagpapasalamat. Thank you, Rose Hubs, no? Maraming salamat. Thank you daw. Okay. Well, napakaganda ng gabi natin. Nako, at mamimiss ka na naman namin, Attorney. 1 week na naman tayo. Abangan na naman namin. Ano kaya na naman kaya suot ni Attorney? No? Black is siya na. Di ba? So, ayan. Tama, no? It's we miss each other, no? We miss the company of our kababayan, ang ating ka-social bubble family, no? Dito sa atin. And it's nice we interact with people, and every week we have new viewers from different parts of the world and different parts of the Philippines, of the UK, I should say, no? So lumalawak ang ating family, no? From the UK to the world, no? Ganyan. Okay. I guess, Attorney, it's time to say goodbye, no? How do they contact you?
Yeah. So ito pong, if you want to contact me, you want me to add to yung pinag-usapan nga natin ngayon, kabatbat@douglas-simon.com. Telephone number po namin, 0203-375-0555. But it's probably best to email me. If you have questions nga, pwede bang lagay nyo dun sa subject nyo, Immigration Corner, so that in case I open it and close it again, I can still find it, no? And kung gusto niyo lagay ng Tagalog o English, Taglish, hindi po problema because it comes directly to me. So email niyo po kabatbat@douglas-simon.com. And as usual, no, thank you po for joining. It is truly humbling. And I know lagi kong sinasabi, but I so look forward to Thursdays nga. You also kind, so very generous nga with your time. And it's great, no, today to be able to give good news, and it really is great news. So hopefully next week, you never know, no? So make sure you tune in.
Advance Merry Christmas, Attorney, ha? Bino mo, malapit because of the news. Diba? Sabi mo, napatalon ka. Diba? Ako rin, natuwa ako, wow. Galing, because it means a lot now, no? Malaking bagay ho yan. So, hatid sa atin, Attorney, good news. Hatid sa atin ni Attorney, information, no? Education. This is getting to know. Ako, I'm a student of immigration kasi every week nag-uusisa na lang ako. And from the questions of our kababayans, Attorney, I also get to learn, di ba? So, malaking bagay ito. It's a learning, every day is a learning experience for all of us. We never grow old to learn, di ba? Every day. Sabi nga ng aking lola, parang do a good turn every day, parang learn something every day, no? So, ayan. Naku, mamimiss ko si Attorney. Next time, sino kaya ang unang babati sa YouTube? Sino unang babati sa Facebook? Unahan ho tayo. And ano kaya ang suot ni Attorney? Yan ang mga questions natin next week. No? Diba? Abangan natin. So, I guess it's time for us to say goodbye, no? Sa ngalan ni Attorney Lira SIMON-CABATBAT, ang ating director, si Paula Perez, at ang ating production assistant, no? Walang iba kundi si Sofia Silverio. Ito po si Sonny Laragan nagsasabing thank you very much so sa inyong walang sawang pagsubaybay dito ho sa ating palatuntunan. At we're really, like I said, we're humbled that you're there and keeping us company. So let's do it again next Thursday. So till then, Sonny is saying thank you very much for keeping us company. Take care always. God bless and good night. Bye!
Tapos na niluluto mo Paborito ko yan.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you. So you can be there for them.